Hello netizens, how have you been? How's been your day? How is your week going down? Today is a Thursday on is it 7th? Yeah, on 7th February, there is 2024. How is your day going by? How is your week going? Hope you are all well. I thank God I'm good. I'm in my office here. I just come from the field, come back down to the office to relax and wait for the day to go down as we assist customers in the shop on various items that they want to purchase: seeds, chemicals, antibiotics, acaricides, dewormers, and even feeds. Today I just want to share with you, I know in our day-to-day encounters at maybe on the farm or at home, we encounter various chemicals that we use maybe to spray our farms, acaricides, insecticides, and even fungicides, and some storage chemicals. I just want to share with you, or to let you know, of various different color codes that you will encounter when you are buying some of these chemicals. You might buy a chemical, you want maybe to use it on the farm, but they have various color bands, and those color bands usually tell us what the chemical. Usually, it's a warning. The various color bands are warnings to us as users, the end users of the chemical, on how to handle the various chemicals that you purchase from the shops. Maybe let me just take you through maybe around 4 or 5 items that I have in my mini shop here that have the most common color bands that is standard all over. It's used all over the world. They are actually, the most common colors are four colors, but they're actually around 4, 5, 6 colors. Let me just show you some of them. Well, according to how the color codes are graded, or how the international color coding system for the various chemicals that we use, we start with the color number 1, which is red. As you can see from that container in front of you there, this is an acaricide. We use it to spray external parasites on livestock. We have various classes of acaricides that we use to spray our livestock. I'll come to that maybe in my next video when I talk about acaricides and chemicals that we use for ectoparasites. Today I just want to talk about the color coding system, and from that bottle here, this is the color that I'm talking about, this band here with the little pictorials. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if that's clear, but that color band on that bottle is the one I'm talking about. So when you see that color red on any chemical that you purchase for use at the farm, color red means that according to its classification, it's extremely toxic, or the compound that is in a label, in a container that is labeled, is banded red. It means that that chemical or acaricide that is in that container, it has been classified as extremely toxic, and you have to use it, you have to exercise caution. When you are using it, you have to wear protective gear. When I say protective gear, and when you are handling all chemicals, you are supposed to have protective gear. It doesn't matter the toxicity level of the chemicals. You are supposed to handle with gloves when you are spraying. I'm not spraying because it's not yet open, but there's just water and soap at the back of the shop here. I usually wash after work and after handling each and every chemical. But on the farm scenario, you will need to have safety gear. That means you need to have gloves, rubber gloves. You need to have a coverall, most preferably one that doesn't let water or chemical pass through, and then also a mask, and some kind of helmet or a shield, a face shield, or some clear goggles when you want to do, maybe to spray your animals, or when you want to go and spray your farm. You'll need safety gear. And on that color band here, there are some tiny pictorials. Maybe I'll just take a picture and then use it as a thumbnail, or I'll post the picture on my community shield, on my community tab. I'll post the various pictorials that warn you how you handle these chemicals. Mostly it's a sign showing that you should wear gloves, you should use a mask, you should use coveralls, you should use gumboots, and you should also use some goggles. The next color, maybe let me just take this one off. The next color band is actually yellow. You can see from that. Maybe let me just turn it so that you see. Yeah, at least this one, the pictorials are clear. You can see. And when you see this sign, let me just turn it slowly. This sign, you see that sign? Danger. It means this product is highly flammable. When you see that, this is the sign that I'm talking about. It means that this chemical that is in here, it is highly flammable. And now this, the yellow color, this is also an acaricide, but a different class. The previous class that I was showing you, this red one, is from a class we call as organophosphates. Organophosphates, we all know they're poisonous. They're highly poisonous even to human beings. So after the red band, we go to the yellow band. This is the yellow band I'm talking about. When you see a yellow band on any carton or any container, be it a bottle or a carton or a box that has any chemical, the yellow band at the base of the container means that the chemical that is in there is moderately toxic. The first one was red, which was extremely toxic. So the second color, which is yellow, that means that the chemical there in is moderately toxic. And most of these chemicals are used on spraying maybe insecticides on the farm, or ectoparasites on animals, on some pets, and some, mostly the livestock. So the yellow band means that this chemical that is in here is moderately toxic. After the, sorry, something almost struck me. After the yellow color, we go now to the next color, which is slightly toxic, which is blue. The next color is blue, which is slightly toxic. You can see this is now a fungicide. You can use it to spray your maybe fruits, vegetables, and vegetables, and most of the horticulture crops that are usually affected by, they're usually affected by maybe blights. So this is a fungicide. So the blue color, that's the third one. We started with red, yellow, and then the third one is blue. This means that it's slightly toxic. It might cause harm, but the harm that it causes, it might not be that much of worry, like the first colors, like the first chemicals that are found in containers with yellow bands and containers with red bands. So these are mostly found on fungicides. You can see the pictorials, the pictorials that I was talking about, that warn you when you are using these chemicals. Wear gloves, you see, coveralls, gumboots, and then shield. And then when you are handling it, you must have gloves. And when you are putting on gumboots, the gumboots, the trouser that you'll be wearing, it's advisable it should roll over your gumboots. In case it should be over, in case there are any spillages, they don't go into your food, because some of these chemicals have a scorching effect. They are irritants. Most of the chemicals are irritants. Maybe another one. Sorry. This is also a fungicide. You see it has a blue color. Maybe now the third one. No, we are on the fourth one. The fourth one now is a green chemicals that have at the base with a green band. You see, that is the band that I'm talking about. The green band. We had the green band, we had the yellow, red, blue. Now, this is a chemical that has a green band. Now, these are classified as unlikely to cause acute. They're unlikely to cause more harm, unlike these other chemicals that are in here. It's unlikely to cause harm, unlike this chemical, and it's unlikely to cause harm, unlike this chemical that has a red band, and this that has a blue band of color at the base. So these that have green color at the base, they're usually, for instance, the one that I'm just showing you, this one is a storage dust. It's used for when you are packing after you have harvested your cereals, mostly maize, beans, and maybe all the legumes that you don't want to use, you don't intend to use immediately. So this is used as a storage against the weevils in the maize. When you're bagging them, you use this storage dust. These ones here, you use the storage dust. You, depending with the quantities that have been prescribed on the container, or in the packs, or in the sachets that have these chemicals. These are unlikely to cause any severe harm when you are using them, but you still have to exercise caution. Use them with the protective gear, and because it is a dust, you have to have a mask. It might cause some mild irritation in the eyes and mild irritation in your nostrils. Let me just say the membranous, in the membranes. When I say membranes, I mean the mouth, eyes, and the nostrils. So those are the most common color bands that are found on various chemicals: red, yellow, green, and blue. And most of these chemicals, when you buy them, there's always, usually, in case of there's any poisoning, the first thing you do when you are using chemicals, maybe I'll do that in my next video on disposal, in case there's any accidental swallowing, or accidental spillages on the skin, or accidental spill in the eyes. I'll do maybe my next video to tell you how to go about it. But you should note that when you are buying these chemicals, all of them, there's usually a toll-free number. There's usually a toll-free number on the containers, such that in case there's any poisoning, or in case there's any accidental misuse of the chemicals, there's usually a toll-free number. You have to check your pack. There's a toll-free number that you can call in case there's any maybe poisoning of the chemical. You can call the number. It's usually on the inserts. When I say insert, this is the insert, or usually on the outer carton. There's a toll-free number that you can call in case of any poisoning. So there's a number you call, and then they'll guide you on what to do or how to attend to the person that has swallowed that poison. I think that is just for this short few minutes. That's what I thought that I should share, maybe with my subscribers and anybody that comes across this. Maybe you've never understood why is it that there are various color bands on the chemicals that you buy. Those are the bands I'm talking about: red, yellow, and blue. So basically, that is just a warning sign on how to handle and how to store the chemicals. And make it a habit when you buy chemicals for use at the farm or in your households, you should have a safe box for all chemicals. All chemicals that have these color bands, not just that have these color bands, all chemicals that might cause harm to us. Because you have kids, maybe you have poultry, you have pets, they might end up maybe picking on them or licking them. You are supposed to have, they are supposed to be under lock and key. Apart from a shop that is here where there's a professional that is in here that is handling the chemicals. At farm level or house level, any chemical that you buy, you are supposed to hide it in a very safe place, such that you only get it when you want to use it. It shouldn't be exposed, and most of them should not be. Most of these chemicals, there's one that I just showed you here, there's a sign here, most of them are highly flammable, so they should not be near where ignition is most likely to occur, maybe around your cooker, maybe around your fireplace. They should not be there. If you have a store in your backyard, you can put them there, or maybe if you have a garage, you can put them there in a box. Or if you can get, if you don't have a toolbox, you can get an old bucket that has a lid, such that all the chemicals, you put them in a central place, and you have to store them depending on its use. For instance, these are acaricides. As much as they might be having same color bands. That's another thing. Before I end the video, they might be having the same color bands. You see, this is color blue. That has a blue band, and then you'll get they might be having a blue band, and then this other one has a green band. As much as they are all chemicals, you cannot store them, or when we are even in our shops, when we are arranging them, they are not supposed to be together on shelves, because this is used for foods. This is used for storage, for grain storage. But nowadays, thanks for technology, we have hermetic bags for storing in grains. You just it has two nylon, heavy gauge nylons. Just put in, and then you put in grains. We are no longer using chemicals. It's like chemicals, we are almost facing them off. Nowadays we have special bags for grain storage. You don't use any chemical at all. And that is the world, or that is the trend, that is where we are heading to have a chemical-free society. As much as I am selling chemicals, but we are headed there where we will be storing. We already started storing in hermetic bags. So this is green, yes. It's a warning color. It's unlikely to cause any harm, but you should not store it together with these other chemicals. So you should also partition the places that you are the places that you are storing your chemicals. You should also partition such that the extremely toxic chemicals are not stored together with those unlikely chemicals to cause harm. For instance, the green banded chemicals should not be put together with the extremely toxic, extremely hazardous chemicals. That is the ones that have the red band. Yep. Hope you get something. You can let me know what I missed out, or you can input in the comment section down there. You can tell me what I might have missed out, what I might have not told you properly. Sharing is caring. This knowledge, we know it, some don't know it, so it's good if we share. Thanks, people.